required documents. You're going to need a list of documents. They're here. We're going to go through these documents in detail in the third session. But the most important thing that you can do is you must have your certificate of incorporation. That's a foundational document that you needed to start your organization, be it a house of worship, a JCC, a school. You have to be incorporated somehow, and you're going to need a certificate of incorporation. You're going to eventually need all of these other documents, and we'll go through them in detail later. But I want you to be aware that the process is going to be you have to upload all of these documents in a format that's pleasing to the state, and we'll help you. You know, we know what the state wants, and we'll try to let you know it. And you'll have to answer some questions too. And that's week 4 is how to answer the questions. Now, how do you register? Here is the grants management. This is where all these documents are and all of the state's directions. Keep in mind, and this is sometimes confusing and it sometimes slows down the process. On your certificate of incorporation, you have a legal name. You must apply using either your legal name, or if you have what's called the DBA, a certificate that certifies that you do business under another name, you must use that legal business name. And your head of organization must sign the forms, and the forms must be notarized. There's a registration form, and let's just go through this quickly again. Here's your legal business name. It has to be exactly the same name as on your certificate of incorporation. You select that you're a nonprofit. By the way, this form, you can either click on the slide where it says registration form, or it's a link to it is in the chat. You're a nonprofit, and you're going to have to notarize this form. Very straightforward. No chachmas, as they say. Then you're going to have to do a substitute W-9. What does that say? You know, what you have to do, you're a nonprofit, that moved, and you have to put in your EIN number that you have from your bank account or something else, not your social security number, and you enter your organization's EIN without the dashes. Those 2 forms are all you need. Remember, I said you might have a legal business name and an actual business name, but you need what's called a certificate of assumed name. Most people don't have this, but here is an example of an organization that was incorporated using a Hebrew term, and they assumed a name using an English term. You know, kollel and congregation are roughly the same term. So this is what they wanted to use. You might have to get a DBA if all of your legal documents are not exactly the same. So then you take both of these forms as attachments and you email them to grants management at its.ny.gov. It's an email, you know, and it has to be an email attachment. You do both these forms online, you save them, send it in, and in about 2 weeks, maybe less, they will send you an account number, an account name, and a password, temporary password. And then we'll go into next steps. We will include those next steps in our 3rd installment. So we'll go through it, how you sign on, etc. But I'm waiting for people to get their account number. And that's how you register for SFS. And, does anyone have any questions about registration?
David, you just went over one of the questions. If we are registered, but the information changes, do you have to update?
Information changes.
Like, I guess if they have information that changes within their organization, do they have to update?
That's the next section, updating your SFS. Let's hold off on that.
So as of now, we have no questions.
Uh, Anyone who who is not pre-registered, the next section will probably distract you. And Dove has a question or a
Yeah,
comment.
yeah. Before you go too deep and we move on, can you explain one of the common issues we see when people make the account and what's the difference between the account and actually becoming pre-qualified and how long that even just to get an account can take?
Okay, let's go over that again. Number one, you do these forms, you send it in about 2 weeks, maybe less, you will have an account name and a temporary password. That means you're registered. You are not pre-qualified. And let's kind of drive this home a little bit. Remember I said 997 people applied for the NSGP 2025 grant. 122 of the 997 were not pre-qualified. A good chunk of those people thought they could register and it was over with. It's not over with. You're going to have to go through the whole program, all 4 weeks, to get pre-qualified.
So to clarify, you register for your account, and that's just the starting point. And as David just said, it could take 2 weeks just to get confirmed for your account. So if you wait too long to get your account, you could be in crunch time when it's time to actually continue your pre-qualification process. And in the 4 weeks Dave is referring to is obviously this session, this program that CSI has put together to step you through this step-by-step process of pre-qualification.